Alright, so check it out. I'm gonna go over some of the gear that I brought that I typically take out with me. Maybe not every day, but it has a good use for when I like carrying stuff. I'll start with water. That's pretty important. So this is a Grail filter. Unlike like the Sawyer filters, like you're sucking the shit out of them and you're not getting any water. You're barely getting anything, and like eventually you're just like fucking like you got like fucking pressure in your head and everything. Like you're just going crazy trying to get that little amount. And so yeah, what it does, it's called the Grail Geopress, and so I used it earlier. So yeah, like you just fill the water at the bottom with this. You put this in, it has a filter right there, and you press down. You want to open the cap, so that way there it gets. You press down. It's better like if you just like, stand up and use your body weight. That's the water filtering, even though there's nothing at the bottom, it's still actually in the filter. You can hear it bubbling. Yeah, so that's that. That's the Geopress. And then before that, if you want to like extend the life of your filter, you could get a Millbank bag. And so it's like a micron bag. You just dip it in the water. You could tie like a string to it or whatever. If it's like maybe like if there's water like down like a cliff or something, just tie a rope to it, drop it down, and then you pull it up. You have your water in a bag. It's gonna be dripping. It's not gonna be fast enough where you're gonna lose all your water though. And so you could just drip it into like your water filter. So that way a lot of the bigger sediment, it doesn't clog up your filter. Your filter is gonna last a lot longer, the life of it. And next, between a pot, I'll just go with the pot. Okay, so a buddy of mine, he started his own brand, Big Bush Company. I think he actually stopped. He started moving more towards making gloves and stuff. You could find a similar one, pretty much the same exact thing. Everything comes from China. So this is badass. I really like it. I use it all the time. Lived out in Maine with it and everything. Make some big old meals. Like it's a lot bigger than it looks. Like it'll fill you. Like it'll fill you up. And so you could boil, you could cook in this. It's like there's a little like groove around the edge, so you could tie some cord around it and hang it up, and just like elevate it above a fire. So that way you could just set it over a fire that's like underneath, heating it. And like you can make like your stew, your soup, or whatever in it. And then you have like your little frying pan. And it's titanium, so you want to look at the titanium ones. It's gonna be way lighter. Trust, like you'll appreciate that if you're carrying gear and like you're going up mountains and stuff like that. Say you're doing like a 50-mile like hike or whatever, like 30-mile hike through the mountains, like, and you want to carry some gear, which most people do. You're gonna want to go like titanium. And next, best knife. Personally, I really like Mora knives. Like they're cheap and they're just fucking badass, dude. Other ones, like, they look all crazy, all tactical and all that, but they fucking suck, dude. Like, I've never broken it, dude. I beat the shit out of it, dude. I've fucking taken down trees with this. My friends in Maine didn't believe I could do that shit. I fucking showed them. All you gotta do is just bend. You bend the tree over, and once it has like that little, like that curve, right where it curves, you slice in. You slice in. Sometimes you can get in on one slice. Sometimes it takes a couple of slices, and if it's a bigger tree, you just baton the shit out of it and just like make your little notches and all that. Like, yeah, you'll take it down. It takes a beating, and it's a Scandinavian grind. It makes it a great wood carver, skinner. Like you could field dress like game and all that. Like, it's nice. And then folding saw. This one I actually don't really need. This one's kind of big, but I just bring it out because I don't want to buy another one yet. Yeah, like if you're processing a lot of wood, or building like some like a big shelter or something, you're gonna want a big saw. This is a Japanese pull saw. This is the Outback edition. It's a silky saw. It's a silky big boy Outback edition. It's more robust. Look at that blade. Yeah, so it's a pull stroke saw, so when you cut, I don't even want to touch my arm. If I just tap myself with it, it's gonna split me straight up. Like I've done it a couple of times already before, but I actually still have cuts on reeled up. Yeah, you just barely tap yourself, you're gonna get yourself good. Like one of my buddies had he could have got stitched up if we were to a hospital, but we took care of him in the woods with like herbs and all that. It's crazy how fast it healed. Yeah, you could adjust the blade, lock it back in. So when you cut, it cuts on the pull, and then you just kind of lift it up and you bring it back down and you just cut on the pull. But you don't, when you use a saw, you let the teeth do the work. You don't want to push down and pull hard on it. You're gonna break it. You just barely glide, and it's gonna tear the shit up out of the wood. Okay, and then next, my tarp. It's a DD 3x3 tarp. They go for about like $90. I lived outside in Maine with it, and dude, look, it looks fucking brand new. Like I've taken it out a lot of times, and like I take care of my gear. Like some things I beat up, like my knives, but generally most of my stuff, like I take care of it. I like keeping all my stuff clean. I like keeping me clean. Like throughout the day, like usually I'm bathing and stuff like that. Like my clothes might get dirty, but I like being clean. Like when it gets really hot, like that's why I'm always by creeks and stuff. Like so that way I could just keep showering. Like a lot of people, they don't consider like it a necessity, like for hygiene. You think, oh, we're outside, we're gonna get dirty, this and that, but that's how you get infections. You get sick, you get an infection, like it could take you out. Say like you're so far out, and then next thing you know, like you get a fever or whatever because you got an infected wound, because like you're dirty. Like it's gonna mess you up. And then when you go to bed, it's always nice to sleep good, like nice and clean at night. You can have like your little pot, have a bandana, and then just like boil up some water. You can make some soap if you know like the plants around you, what has happening and stuff like that. You could use like a bandana, moss or whatever. If there's a lot of moss, if there's not a lot of moss, don't touch it. Let it just grow. Leave it alone. So yeah, like boil up some water. You get your cloth and just give yourself a little scrub. A lot of times water's enough, unless you have like fecal matter, like blood or something like that on you. Honestly, water, like warm water, you're gonna clean yourself pretty good. And you go to bed feeling nice, dude. After like a long day of hard work, like you're gonna sleep good. You're gonna appreciate having a clean bed to go to every night. You want to keep like a clean set of clothes too that you only use just for your sleep. And what else? My friend Emily, she actually got me in binoculars in Maine. She's pretty badass, dude. Like she knows a lot about like herbs and birds, pretty much like ecology. What's the word that they call them? Like a naturalist. And yeah, so these are the Monarchs M5 by Nikon. They're badass, dude. Like I never really cared for binoculars before, and then once I started going out with Emily birding and stuff, and I realized like the details that you see in the birds. A lot of times you think they're just the same bird that you normally see in the city, and you look closer at it, and you realize that they're not, that they'll have like different features on them that you never noticed before because you just never got that good of a view on them. And yeah, so it comes through. And then it's that way too if you want to scope something out from a distance without having to walk over there, like plants or whatever, like or animals, whatever it is. Save yourself some energy. Like it comes through having binoculars. But if you're trying to be stealthy, you don't really want to use binoculars because the binoculars are gonna have a shine to it, and if like you're trying to evade people, they're gonna end up seeing that. They're gonna end up seeing the little flash, the little shine from the lens. And yeah, another thing that's really I really enjoy is having a bandana. I could filter stuff. I can make traps out of it. I could clean myself. I could use it for like a foraging pouch. And yeah, there's so many uses for a bandana. What else? I usually take out a pouch. I don't know what these are called, but it's like I think it's like a Marine Corps one. I like it. It'll snap. It'll snap onto like the newer Molly rucksacks or whatever they're called. forgot what they're called. I don't even know a lot of the names and stuff, but it's a nice size pouch. So say like you're harvesting like acorns or something like that, and you want to get a decent amount, instead of like trying to hold them in your shirt, like walking around, just have a nice little bag. And the bedding, this is I want to say this is I actually got this from a lady. I didn't make this one. Yeah, I got it from a lady, and I think it's caribou. I think it might be caribou. So, yeah, it's nice and comforting, dude. I enjoy it, and like I don't know, I think it just looks cool too. It's nice having like natural items, like go more traditional than rather than modern gear. It's a little heavier, like carrying around, but I enjoy it. And it's like it's insulated, like sleeping on it's really comfortable. It's warm and all that. Like have another wool blanket. Like the wool's good for like the snow and all that. Like it kind of just like sheds off the like the snow, the moisture and stuff. Like I personally don't really think like any wet clothing is warm, but some people say that like that wool like it stays warm when it's wet. I haven't experienced that though. Like I'm cold fucking and everything, dude. I grew up fucking in a hot area, so I get cold easy. And then what else? I keep another tarp that usually I lay down, so that way I could put my stuff on, keep it clean. So like I said, I like keeping my gear clean, and it's like the tarp. These little tarps. They fold down pretty small, dude. They're really small. You can throw them in your pack, and it weighs nothing. Like takes up barely any space. What else do I carry on me? A ferro rod. Try to get it out. Have it looped on my belt. A ferro rod and a striker. I keep the striker on my pouch. So I got a little buckskin bag a while back. Yeah, so the ferro rods are dope because they'll light a fire. Like even like if it's wet, a lighter, like you wet your bic or whatever, like your matches is done. Like you're not gonna be able to light it. And so once like conditions are wet, like the ferro rod comes through, and you'll get a lot more strikes out of a ferro rod than you will like a bunch of lighters. And they're fun to use, dude. Everybody that I've ever showed these, like I'll bring my sister, like our friends and stuff like that out. Like I'll have like friends that I go out with, and I'll just teach them. And everybody enjoys using them. Some people might get a little impatient, like get a little nervous about using them, but you gotta understand the material, like your fuel and all that. Like once you get good, like it's not an issue. You'll actually enjoy carrying this around more than a lighter. That's pretty much it for what I carry. So that would cover like shelter, water, cutting tool. What else? Like I drew a blank, dude. Yeah, so it's like your cutting tool, your water, your shelter, your fire. Yeah. Thanks for watching.